beautiful star seeds. This is Mama Heru back again talking about breaking those chains of deception. Hey, I have a special guest for me today. His name is Tomaz Heru. I'll let you think about that. But this is one of my golden childs. Okay. And I wanted to interview him today to ask him only two questions. And you might find it quite interesting as to what he might have to say. He's been like this ever since he was a little born child. And he's always had interesting conversation with me and others around him. That lets you know that not only is he here on planet Earth, but I think he got a lot of knowledge from other planets around us. Think about it. Okay, Mr. Heru.
Hello.
I have a question for you that I would like you to speak to my audience about. And the first question is breaking chains of deception. What comes to mind when you hear that phrase?
Freedom. Freedom. Feeling free. People define freedom in many different ways. Or what that is, some people say like freedom of choice, the freedom to choose.
True.
Some people don't feel like choice is a freedom.
Right.
Because choice is still a restriction. When I think of breaking chains, I think of it's freedom without choice. Like it just is. Like it's not necessarily about having to decide between things. It's about how you feel. Like just the flow of it without a decision-making process. It's like creating art, creating music. It's like not thinking about it gives you more freedom than having to think about it.
You see what I was talking about? This is how he thinks. And that is true. When you mention freedom without choices, not thinking, just being, just doing.
Yeah.
Because when you do that, it just flows with the universe anyway.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I hadn't thought about that. When you think of choices, someone is giving you do's and don'ts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
so you're not free to just pull them anywhere.
Yeah, it's a different kind of freedom. It's not true freedom to me.
Right.
The freedom of choice.
Right.
It's not true, pure freedom.
That's true. Like the red pill and the blue pill.
Yeah.
Okay, 2 pills, right?
Why
2
do I
pills.
have to take a pill?
Why do you have to take a pill? Why do I need either one of them?
Yeah. Because then you can have because that creates the whole dynamic of the lesser of two evils.
Yes.
Or they say the devil I know. I'm going with the
Right.
devil I know.
Right.
The lesser of two evils, and that's a choice thing. It's like choosing food, but
True.
it's that choice is not really freedom when it's all kind of the same thing. Like it's all kind of the same food. It's like they're serving you the same animals. If you eat meat, they serve you the same animals in different ways, but you're still eating the same thing. Cows and chickens and pigs. Like one way or the other, where you eat it Mexican style, where they put it in a taco, or you eat American style and they put it between the buns.
So
Like it's the same. Like it's the same.
It's true.
You're not eating nothing different. Like it's not different. Like to me that's a freedom. It's freedom.
It's freedom, yeah.
But it's not freedom. It's still what you eat is still controlled. That's what I think of freedom. I think freedom is true freedom. Is just it's not. There's no thought to it.
Right.
To think takes time.
That's true.
Time being all we have, but to think takes time, and then the longer you think about something, thinking becomes paralyzing.
Oh my! And it can be stressful.
Yeah. It's stressful. So I think we're in a space, a zeitgeist they call it, a spirit of an age. I feel like we're in a space where this range of choices that we have, this range of options will start to become less of the focus.
Yes.
On what the choices are. That's like the political climate right now. You have Democrat and Republic. I feel like going forward, especially for my generation moving forward, it's going to be less of a thing. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, we don't care. Like, we don't care, like, what the choices are. It's like, how do I feel? What am I living? how is this actually affecting me?
Right.
Is this having any type of impact on my life experience, or is it not?
Mm-hmm.
You know, like and that's the type of freedom that I feel like we're going towards.
Yeah.
It's scary to people because there's less control there.
Mm-hmm.
It's the only thing that scares people is that lack of control. It's like as it stands or as it was in the past, where everybody knowing what the choices are, we could kind of all figure out.
Right,
and,
exactly.
And you know, predetermine and prejudge what people are going to do
yes,
and where they're going to go and all that.
Mm-hmm.
But if those things go away,
mm-hmm.
you know, if a person can't define you as Democratic or Republican, then what can they define you as? If you take that away and say, well, you know, I just feel how I feel. Now imagine that by the millions. Like millions of people like that scares people. It scares people.
Oh my goodness.
But we're not afraid. I'm not afraid.
No. You know, we're like the wind.
Yeah.
We're like the water.
Yeah.
You know, the wind can find every crack and it's going to get through it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, water finds every crack and it's going to get through it, right?
Yeah.
And it's like you was talking about freedom like the wind. We look at the wind. The wind is flowing freely right now. Look, it's going through the currents and everything, right?
Yeah, it's no
now,
thought.
Yeah.
There's no thought.
And then you can contain it.
You could
You
try.
know, we can block everything around us, right?
Then you'll die. You can't breathe.
You see?
There's no current. That's how a house can get stuffy if there's not enough into.
You can't
and next
breathe.
thing you know, enough time go past. Even inside of a house, you will suffocate.
That's true.
Without
That's
a
true.
lack of flow. You know.
Oh.
It's like the same thing with wind. You can apply the same thing with water. When water doesn't flow, it becomes stagnant. That's when it becomes unhealthy and it becomes, you know, moldy or whatever that case may be.
Bacteria,
it's a lack of flow.
diseases,
It can't just flow.
Mm-hmm.
And how we think is like water.
Right.
It's like wind.
Yeah.
And there's a flow to it. And thinking is like the blockage.
Yeah. That's why people are so afraid to think outside of the box. And think outside of the box is not thinking, to me.
It's not thinking.
It's not thinking.
But, you know, also a part of that is we don't trust ourselves.
Yeah, we so used to being controlled.
Yeah, we don't trust ourselves.
Right,
and so we don't trust ourselves to just flow. Mm-hmm. You know, and that also goes into we don't trust other people to flow, which is a part of the fear. It's like, because I could sit here and say, oh, you know, I think people shouldn't think. But there's some people that you kind of want them to think before they act. You know, you want them to think before they act.
Did you think about what you were doing?
You know.
Oh my goodness!
So I guess that's the double-edged sword, but you know, I seen something earlier, and the guy was talking about how we're now in a state where safety has become number one, and we don't realize how much that's damaged us as a species.
Exactly.
Like safety being number one, you know.
Exactly.
To the effect that we can't progress here in this space, you know. The whole safe space thing and the whole, you know, the political correctness.
True.
You know,
true.
you can call this group of people one thing one day, but then 2 years later that's incorrect, and you know you shouldn't say this because that's gonna hurt these people's feelings, and this might hurt these people's feelings. But it's like, to me, that's an example of thinking too much becoming a stagnation. Because now we're more focused on what we're calling each other and the PC-ness of it than the reality of our current situation and the reality of what's going on. Instead of trying to you know, pacify people's feelings and emotions because of what they're thinking.
You see, when you were talking about safety, I thought about that. Even like with the vaccines, we're taking the vaccine just to be safe, but at the same time, the vaccine is damaging us.
Yeah.
You know.
So then, at that point, it's become counterproductive, which kind of like defeats the purpose. You know.
I love this interview. I love talking to this child of mine. I really, really do. Oh my God. Okay, my next question is, what is your creation for planet Earth?
New sound.
New sound.
New frequency. I remember, you know, some people may disbelieve this, but I remember the moment I was born. I remember the sight, and I remember the sound.
Yes.
Just that moment. After that, like that gap from there to like 2, 3, 4, I don't have vivid memory, but I have a vivid memory of first light, first sound.
They probably took when they gave you your first vaccine. I'm just saying. It's, I think he remembers something. Okay, let's give him his K shot.
Yeah. But I feel like I know how sound has affected me. And sound as far as music, you know, even light and vision is a form of sound.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
So I know growing up in my like mid-teens, late teens, I listened to a lot of rap, hip-hop, and how that affected me and how that impacted me emotionally on many levels, how it affected the way that I thought, the way I processed the environment around me. I can see those things now. You know, I see it all the way down to how I walked, you know, and how I dressed and the clothes I put on my back, like it affected me.
Oh.
And at the time, you know, it's, you know, you in rebel mode, like, oh no, it's music, this is just what it is, you know, they just speaking the truth. Telling the truth about the, you know, living in the streets, you know, the inner city in LA and all this. They just telling the truth, and, you know, it's what it is, and you know, really it was me looking for some sense of a direction. You know, it was me looking for some sense of a figure that I wasn't experiencing in my regular life.
Yes.
You know, and people like us, you know, Snoop Dogg and 50 Cent. You know, those people, they were like, you know, big brothers or fathers or uncles.
Right.
To me, just listening to their music, but it affected me, that frequency. And now I'm in a space where I do music now, and I get all these messages about how I'm affecting people.
Yes.
And now, but it's positive. I'm not affecting people the way the music that I listen to affected me.
True.
You know, I it's like, since I know that sound has that kind of effect on us, and it shifts our mood.
Yes.
It's giving me the opportunity to give something different, to you know, to give what's truly inside me. Because all that gangster rap I was listening to and all that harsh music, it wasn't who I really am on the inside. Like, it wasn't me.
Right.
I mean, even all the homies and friends that I have now that's still in the streets and still running around and stuff, I know that's not them. They're just responding to the environment. It's just become normalized.
Yes.
To be this way.
Exactly.
You know,
exactly.
But I know that it doesn't have to be this way.
No.
And I know that sound is an answer to that. It may not be the ultimate truth for everything,
right?
But for what I can contribute, sound, you know, and not to like backtrack on what I said about thought, but thought, to share a thought,
exactly.
You know, to share a difference,
right?
You know, it's like how Michael Jackson has affected so many people.
Oh yes.
It was to see, you know, somebody from the same places as us, you know, from the same kind of poverty and the same kind of, you know, skin tone or whatever it may be, like to see them do something different, you know. It's like I when I was younger, you know, you played Michael Jackson.
Yes, I did.
And James Brown, people like that.
Yes,
and I heard those things. Then when I got in my teens, you know, you hit your real rebellious streak. You want to hear what I wanted to hear.
Yes.
I didn't want to hear that, but it came back around.
Yes,
it's
it did.
The interesting thing. Now I'm in my 20s. It's come back around, and since it's come back around, now I look at Michael Jackson. I look at James Brown and realize I don't have to be a gangster. Like, I don't have to be a thug.
Young people, listen.
Like, look at this magic that this black man has given to the world, and it's just pure love, and it's nothing, you know, hyper masculine. I think is the word they use about it, for something like hyper masculine or hyper aggressive. That's not there.
That's not.
But the love is still there.
The love is. Definitely.
And, you know,
he did.
A lot of people in my generation feel that hyper masculinity or being masculine or being a man, you know, it's about, you know, it's attractive to women and getting girls and all that type of stuff. But then you look at Michael Jackson, who was not hyper masculine, or Prince, shit, even Rick James,
let the wind
and they got all the girls. All the women was flocking. These are not hyper masculine, thugged out gangsters.
Right? No, no,
like, and it just opened up something for me when it came back around to me. Those artists, and then how much that resonates for me and how I actually feel on the inside, you know, and how I feel on the inside is just, it's like an imploding star.
Yes, star seeds.
Like an implosion. You know, explosions, boom, implosion. It's like,
exactly.
You know,
exactly.
It's the best. It's like the best way I can explain how I feel in my chest. It always feels like an implosion. You know, an implosion, an imploding star. I think that's how black holes are created. You know, nebulas. Black holes are created from imploding stars.
Exactly.
And then it just becomes a vortex. And a black hole is what? It's just a gateway to another dimension, a gateway to another space.
That's it.
Where that is, I don't know.
We don't know.
But it's going somewhere.
It is.
And everything that I'm taking in this environment, everything that I'm taking in, I'm channeling it. I'm channeling that frequency back out into a different space.
How beautiful is that? How beautiful is that? It makes me, when you talk about the vibrations and the energy, I thought about one time I took a flower and I put the flower in my hand. It was just like still a little bud. And I put it in my hand and I closed my hand. This is how I learned about vibration within me, right? And I put it in my hand and I just did Om. I just did Om. And I felt the flower open it in my hand. And then when I finished doing my Om, and I opened my hand up and the flower had opened. And I'm like, this did not just happen. So what did I do? I went and got another little bud and put that in my hand, and I did the same thing. That shows me how much energy and electrical we are.
Yeah.
And so with that music, you talk about the vibration.
Yeah.
You know, words, sound, all of that is vibration. It just flows.
Yeah.
You know?
That's why that's to answer your question, that's what I want to give. Flow. Or give an example of, because you can't give it to people.
Exactly.
But you can show it.
You can show it. Yeah.
You can show it.
I think there are a lot of other young people out there like yourself that are feeling this explosion taking place inside of them, not knowing what to do with it.
Yeah.
And that was one of my questions to you about you give what is your creation to the planet, you know. And I hopefully a lot of young people in your age group, you know, will come across this video, and you would be that match. That could light that spark. And they said, I knew it was something about me. There was nothing wrong with me. I knew something around me, it just didn't feel right. You know, this enclosureness, right? And so I am so happy to have had a chance to interview you, Tomaz Heru, my golden child, one of my golden child. You'll get a chance to see another one later. I thank you. I thank you for taking the time out of your schedule to be here. Once again, this is Mama Heru, breaking those chains of deception. And I am going to give this golden child a kiss on his third eye. Come over here. That's my golden child. Till next time, here's loving you with the love of the universe. Bye-bye.